Welcome, everybody, to the IoTeX Town Hall. How's it going? My name is Larry. Good to be here with everyone around the global IoTeX community. I'm streaming live on YouTube right now, and we have a really great program for everyone. You know, the IoTeX ecosystem is growing so fast, so quickly, and we really just want to take this time to really set some context about all of our latest announcements, talk about what we have planned for the future, and also just share some exciting things that we have planned down the road. Crypto is kind of booming right now. Everyone is really laser focused on a lot of different things, but IoTeX is really starting to see the fruits of our labor kind of pay off, both in terms of progress with partners, with price, and also community growth. So we're going to cover all of that during this session. We were inspired to do this town hall today because we actually received a lot of requests from new community members about they want to see the bigger picture of IoTeX. Every week it seems like we have a few new massive announcements, but really kind of set the tone about how does that fit into the bigger picture. And that's exactly why we do these town halls, to give you that context about what the latest announcements are, how they fit into the bigger picture, and why IoTeX is going to be the biggest blockchain IoT project in the world one day. So, today, just really wanted to take you guys through our presentation. So how this is going to work, we're streaming live right now on YouTube and Twitter. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. And I'm going to be able to also play around with this new StreamYard tool. I see Rallen's online. He says, I'm looking great. Thank you, Rallen. But yeah, any time you have a question, I'm going to be monitoring the chat throughout this. But I really want to just take you guys through this presentation today. So what we're going to cover, we're going to start with some ecosystem updates. As I mentioned, the ecosystem is growing extremely fast at IoTeX, and it's really important to see the bigger picture of what we're doing, why these things are important. Next, we're going to talk about some cross-chain activities. IoTeX is connecting to Ethereum, as you guys all know, through IoTube. But now, over the past month, we've seen a lot of activity on Binance Smart Chain, both with a new bridge between IoTeX and Binance Smart Chain, as well as new tokens, including IoTeX and Cyclone, that are now thriving on Binance Smart Chain. It's really great to see. Then we're going to talk about Pebble Tracker. This has really been a huge focus for IoTeX for the past month, not only to get Pebble Tracker sold on CrowdSupply, putting them into the community's hands so you guys can participate, but really aligning ourselves with partners that share our vision for what verifiable data is going to bring to the blockchain industry. So this is some really important context that we're going to share there. And finally, at the end, as always, we're going to tell you a little bit about what's next, what is coming down the road for IoTeX, and all of the really fun things that fun and exciting things that we have planned for you guys. So I see some comments here about the video not being clear. Hopefully it clears back up, but just to dive into our presentation today, starting with some ecosystem updates. So as always, we start with some statistics, right? Last time during our town hall, we shared with you guys that the IoTeX network just passed 10 million transactions, and that was early February. Now, flash forward 1 month, we saw 2,100,000 more transactions just in a single month. So really the transactions per day are booming, right? It's really amazing to see. We have about 67 delegates, 40+% of the IoTeX circulating is staked. Right now we're on epic number 16,000, and we just got word that we just passed our 10 millionth block. IoTeX mainnet has been live since April 2019, still running error-free, and it's just an amazing foundation for everything we have else going on. The other thing that's really amazing is we're seeing the total number of votes in the ecosystem from stakers and voters increase. So right now we're at about 3 billion total votes. Around 2.5 billion IoTeX have been staked by the global community. So that's really awesome to see. I see some familiar faces. It's great to see everyone on YouTube and Twitter. We're finally streaming direct to Twitter. Hey, Eric, how's it going? Good to see you there. And we have our homie Crypto Clown, my new favorite project. You might be my new favorite community member. But these are just some great IoTeX network statistics, and it's really great to see the growth in this respect. But another way to look at it is not just about numbers, but it's about partners, right? You see the IoTeX ecosystem is exploding with brand new partners, all the way from people that are building different applications to onboarding new types of wallets to new exchanges, more delegates and stakeholders. Our network tools are getting improved, and just partners around the board. Last time during our town hall, we really focused on the China Mobile IoT Alliance, new partnership. But there's just so much else going on in the ecosystem, especially now with Pebble Tracker. So, we're going to dive into all the different activities that we have planned for Pebble Tracker. But for those that haven't seen it live, hopefully the camera can focus on it. This is Pebble Tracker, right? Live and in person. We have a lot of cool new videos that we're excited to share with you, but it's really great to see that. Just to cap off on the IoTeX ecosystem, it's really important that everyone really dives into this website, right? This website, ecosystem.iotex.io, you can see it here. It's really the one place to see all of the projects, all of the partners, and all of the exchanges and wallets that IoTeX is a part of. Getting that full picture view, we're going to walk through it today. We'll really encourage everyone to do their own self-exploration, right? There's a lot of things that IoTeX is doing, both on the DeFi, IoT research side, etc., that everyone should know about. So really encourage everyone to check out ecosystem.iotex.io. So in addition to growing stats and growing partners and growing ecosystem, a really interesting way to look at this is also the size of the Internet of Trusted Things network, which are all of the different UCAMs out there today. So it's really amazing. Even last time, I think during the town hall, this was only 1,800. So in 1 month, we've onboarded, I think, over 600, 700 UCAMs all around the world. Now we've hit 51 countries globally, and it's amazing to see. So that's the other part. UCAM may seem like a OG product now, but it's still more important than ever. We just published that when privacy hits home report yesterday, and it's really important to understand. UCAM is not just a one and done product, right? I think it's just finding its way into the hands of our community and brand new folks that are just learning about IoTeX. So if you guys haven't heard about UCAM before, it's an absolutely private home security camera that's powered by the IoTeX blockchain. Our first powered by IoTeX device, Pebble Tracker being the second powered by IoTeX device. But UCAM won the CES Innovation Award back in 2020, and it's a really great product, already listed on Amazon and a lot of new retailers that we're going to talk about later on during this call. The other side of this, about the Internet of Trusted Things, this website at iott.network, you can check this live dashboard out. But for those of you that aren't familiar with kind of the tokenomics of IoTeX, for every new device that's registered to the network, like a Pebble Tracker or a UCAM, IoTeX is actually burned and dropped to long-term stakers in a program that we call burn drop. So basically, any device that our community adopts makes IoTeX token a deflationary asset over time. So the total supply of IoTeX is going down as this number goes up. So it's important to put that into context. Like, what do these numbers mean? It not only means new community members and new users, but it also means more value to existing users. So that's why I think everyone should get on board, help us to put IoTeX devices all over the world. And we have some updated tokenomics to share later on during this call, which we're also very, very excited about. Burn drop phase 2, as I mentioned, burn drop comes in a 10-phase kind of plan as we go towards from 0 to 1 million IoTeX devices. Right now, we're in phase 2, and we're excited to announce that phase 2 is 75% complete. Over 150 million IoTeX has been burned throughout burn drop, and over 17 million IoTeX has been dropped to long-term stakers that are seeing APY of about 13% just by participating in burn drop. we get a lot of questions about how do I join BurnDrop? Why should I join BurnDrop, right? Not only are you helping to secure the network by staking or stake locking for more than 91 days, but you're also earning your share of this 17 million IoTeX airdrop, which is only going to increase in the future. And every device that is activated triggers a new BurnDrop event, completely decentralized via smart contract. To me, it's a very sophisticated tokenomics DAO, but for you guys get to enjoy the benefits of getting more IoTeX in your wallets and making sure that you're helping to drive down the deflationary concept of IoTeX as well, and much more on BurnDrop later on during this presentation. I want to jump into some very recent announcements. This was just announced yesterday, but it's one of the further partnerships that we have with Binance. We've been doing a lot of things with the Binance ecosystem lately, obviously the biggest user base in the world, and we're excited to bring staking to Binance today. So right now there's a promotion that's being run by Binance. Anyone that stakes for 15 days can earn 15.52% APY during those 15 days. There's a maximum, I think, of 7,000 IoTeX you can receive from this, but this is really meant to bring the Binance trader community and staking community into IoTeX, right? As kind of a first step. We really appreciate our partnerships with Binance and our great relationship that's only going to grow from here. But this is really a signal that the legitimacy of IoTeX, Binance wanting to bring IoTeX to their user base on behalf of us, is a really great sign for even deeper partnerships in the future. I know a lot of people are asking about futures and things like that, but this is just a step in that right direction. So hopefully we'll see some new cool stuff around that very soon. But definitely check this out, IoTeX staking on Binance. And also know that, the staking ecosystem in IoTeX is also growing, right? Of course, 2.5 billion IoTeX has already been staked directly through IoPay, which is the IoTeX wallet. But, there's also many other places to stake. I think KuCoin has staking, Hotbit has staking, Trust Wallet has staking, Kobo Wallet. So whatever kind of avenue you choose to manage your crypto, hopefully you'll see IoTeX staking built into that soon as well. But really great options for all you stakers to optimize your portfolios. Another recent announcement that we loved was our partnership with Amazon Web Services in both the United States and China. A lot of people in this industry announce these kind of partnerships without any context about what they're actually doing. But we have a great interview with the global blockchain segment leader at Amazon Web Services, Anoop Nanra, who we've known since, I think, 2018 during the Trusted IoT Alliance and early IIC days that we've had. So, what we're doing specifically with AWS, especially in China, is we've worked with AWS and one of their consulting partners named HiCloud to optimize the performance of UCAM in China. So it's not just about, IoTeX is not just a blockchain, right? We're a full stack platform that wants to power real world products, just like UCAM. And the truth is, part of that is blockchain, part of that's going to be cloud, part of that maybe even on-prem data centers in the future and things like that. So having the ability to work with Amazon Web Services directly on a product, especially to bring it to the Chinese audience, is a very important thing for us, right? So it's not always about, is Amazon going to integrate IoTeX? Is IoTeX going to integrate Amazon? These partnerships are really to form the foundation for how we power our products in the future. A lot of people may be wondering, what does Amazon have to do with UCAM, right? But regardless of where your data is stored, we use cloud to store motion detection clips, just like most security cameras out there. But regardless of where your data is stored, it's still end-to-end encrypted with the private key that only you own. So it's, regardless if it's stored on a memory card or in the cloud, it's really important to optimize all those storage features. And that's exactly what we did with AWS in China. In the US, we've listed our enterprise blockchain called Pantheon on the AWS marketplace, which is a really big deal for us. We've been really working a lot in the industry consortiums that we participate in. Anoop is actually the the co-chair of the blockchain working group within the Industrial Internet Consortium, along with IoTeX and Huawei. So we have a deep background with Anoop, and hopefully we'll see more things related to IoTeX and AWS coming soon in the form of different enterprise kind of initiatives. Another really interesting partnership that we have is with Scale-Out. Scale-Out is a pioneer in federated machine learning, and has a background in blockchain as well. And they're really looking to bring decentralized machine learning to the IoTeX network. We're going to dive into this a lot deeper when we talk about Pebble Tracker. But basically, they want to set up a protocol on the IoTeX network that is more like a data value extraction mechanism, right? Machine learning is all about how do we extract value from the raw data that we have. And if you think about the IoTeX network as a foundation, a home for all of this data in the future, it's really going to be about not just about giving ownership of that data to users, but it's also about how do we extract value from that data on behalf of users, right? We really have a vision to create many, many different passive streams of income for people stemming from their data as well as their tokens, right? I think the entire blockchain industry right now is very infatuated with the concept of DeFi, but really bringing some of those DeFi concepts, which are kind of centered around tokens today, and applying them to our data is going to spark a lot of really, really interesting use cases, which I'm going to dive deep into later. But shout out to Daniel and the Scale-Out team. We're really excited to be working with them on what we consider to be, a very, very big future part of the IoTeX network, to make sense of the data that we have, to control the data that we have, and of course, to monetize the data that we have. Another partnership that we have, so many different partnerships over this past month in different kind of areas. This one's an important one for the cross-chain ecosystem. So Unify is one of the, really, really fast-growing projects out there today. And it's really exciting to see their growth because we've known them for such a long time. We've been talking to Julian and the team for probably more than 2 years now in the context of Sesame Seed, which is one of their node validator operations. And they're also going to be bringing Sesame Seeds soon to IoTeX, which is a really exciting part. So that's kind of a new announcement, the first of new announcements today. But Unify has integrated their protocol onto IoTeX, and we're starting the first IoTeX and BUSD pools on UTrade, which is their decentralized kind of cross-chain exchange. And Unify is growing fast. I think they're starting to do a lot of different farms, and the ultimate goal is to enable cross-chain swaps. So they're already connected to Ethereum, Ontology, Tron, Harmony, Binance Smart Chain, and now IoTeX as one of the top kind of layer one blockchains. So it's really exciting to not only see kind of the attention from the enterprise space and from the kind of the DApp space, but also, these cross-chain protocols see IoTeX as a network that they want to connect to. And I can't tell you, that's a really big tipping point, I think, for a lot of future traction. Just based on this partnership alone, we've gotten the chance to talk to many, many people working on DeFi cross-chain stuff. And those are going to lead to some cool partnerships that we're looking forward to announce. The last flavor of partnership I wanted to mention is, earlier in February, we worked with Hacken. Hacken is one of the top cybersecurity blockchain projects out there. They do pretty much all of the security audits for smart contracts today. And together, we're both extremely focused on the concept of cybersecurity. We did a webinar about how to protect your smart devices from modern hackers. So Dima, Hacken CEO and co-founder, and myself, I think, delivered a great webinar that really educates people about the problems that IoTeX and Hacken are trying to solve, right? A lot of times we all talk about solutions and very futuristic concepts, but it's also important to understand what problems we're actually solving. So encourage everyone to check out the Hacken webinar. Like I mentioned, UCAM sales are really going well. Here's a nice, cool graphic of all the UCAMs packed up for our recent Touch of Modern sale. So Touch of Modern is a really interesting modern kind of web channel to sell products, and it's really exciting to see this growth. But that's not all. We're also seeing a lot of awareness in other areas. For example, we saw UCAM on the New York Post, which is a top 10 news website in the world as far as number of monthly viewers. We're also seeing a great example from Lunar Crush here, which is kind of the social metrics of the crypto ecosystem. Over the past couple months, we've seen sharp increase in social mentions, social engagements, and social contributors. Of course, also a nice spike in the price. It's funny that on March 10th, just a week ago, we were still at 4 cents. I think now we're coasting at 5 cents. But it's really great to see all the social activity also increasing today. We've also been featured on some of the top crypto focused websites, including Cointelegraph and BTC Manager. So definitely check out these articles. It's just great to see the awareness of IoTeX is spreading extremely fast. I don't want to dive too deep into these things. I know we want to jump into the meat of the presentation, but IoTeX last week presented at the Industrial Internet Consortium's Q1 member meeting, where we presented a lot of new innovations that we have regarding Pebble Tracker and regarding decentralized identity for edge computing. So we're going to bring some of those insights to you via research papers and through some new initiatives with the IIC that we'll talk about later during this call. And finally, I really want to guide everyone to check out this IoTeX and ARM live stream that we did. We jumped on with, I had to block off Robert from this picture, but Alessandro and Robert are kind of ARM's community developer leads. ARM is a $40 billion company, the world's largest technical IP provider, and we've used ARM Trust Zone technology and crypto cell technology in Pebble Tracker. So during this session, we dove into everything related to Pebble Tracker and really gave their developer community a good look into what exactly is going on with Pebble Tracker. So, that's just a short ecosystem update. I want to jump into the next section here, which is all about cross-chain activities. So many of you have seen our announcements related to cross-chain, right? I just want to add some context regarding why we're doing what we're doing and why it's important for the future. So as you guys know, IoTeX has for a long time now been connected to the Ethereum blockchain. We're starting to see a lot of Ethereum assets on IoTeX. Over 100 million IoTeX in total liquidity can be seen on Mimo. But we're also seeing IoTeX being tradable on Ethereum, on Uniswap. I think Cyclone is also already listed on Uniswap with 10 million IoTeX in liquidity. So this is really inviting the massive Ethereum user base to check out IoTeX, right? And I think in the future, it's going to enable a lot of cross-chain interactions, not only with tokens, but also with data. So we're really excited to jump into that part. But simultaneously, we're kind of replicating what we've done with Ethereum to the Binance Smart Chain ecosystem as well. For those of you that haven't been following the Binance Smart Chain, it's really exploding in TVL and also number of users. So we're giving the Binance Smart Chain community the opportunity not only to hold IoTeX, buy IoTeX, but also to farm and to stake IoTeX directly on other networks. In the future, this is all kind of step one, right? Step one is connecting the tokens across the two ecosystems, allowing them to flow freely between the two ecosystems, or now 3 ecosystems. And also that really paves the way for our vision of the future, right? The reason why we're doing what we're doing is we want to position IoTeX as the de facto IoT hub to connect the real world with the blockchain world. So starting with tokens, advancing over to data in the future is really going to position IoTeX to, conquer this IoT space and become the de facto source for IoT data in the future. But for now, everyone can enjoy the new opportunities to use IoTeX on different platforms and networks. And very soon, we're working on Huobi EcoChain integrations as well as Polkadot integrations. You see Unify as a cross-chain partner, and we're talking to several new cross-chain partners to bring to just expand this cross-chain network even further. IoTube, last time we talked about IoTube v3, Now we're IO2 v4. And v4 is really the synthesis of the Ethereum and IoTeX bridge and the IoTeX and Binance bridge. And it's kind of like a tri-party agreement, right? It's kind of bringing, you can even eventually send tokens from Ethereum to Binance Smart Chain through the IO2 bridge. So, positioning IoTeX in the middle of that, but this is really the first of its kind. I don't think any other project has successfully built cross-chain bridges to Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain. And that's something we're just really excited to see. It's going to open up so many possibilities that I don't think we even really comprehend yet. Just the connecting to the two largest ecosystems, I think right now is going to present a lot of ways for us to work with the developers and users in those ecosystems, get them to know IoTeX. So this is another part of the goal, is about awareness through these integrations. Really great to see IoTeX on PancakeSwap. If you haven't checked it out yet, you can stake and farm IoTeX on PancakeSwap. And it's also really great to see Cyclone 2.0 launching on Binance Smart Chain. Cyclone is a project born on the IoTeX ecosystem. It's a privacy-preserving multi-chain protocol, and IoTeX and Binance Smart Chain are currently supported. So I think the Cyclone growth has grown exponentially over the past couple months. Congrats to all those that got in early, and we're really excited to see Cyclone kind of act as a template for other DApp builders to use, as far as how to kind of launch their tokens to the IoTeX community, expand to other networks, and just drive that virtuous cycle of growth, right? So that is kind of our cross-chain activity update. And the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is the main event, Pebble Tracker. Pebble Tracker is live now on CrowdSupply, and I have a really awesome update I want to share with you guys. Let me share a new screen real quick. Pebble Tracker, as of this morning, we're officially sold out of the early bird and pioneer tiers on CrowdSupply. So we're going to talk a little bit about what Pebble Tracker is and just dive into what we call kind of these data collectives and these data farms that are going to be enabled by Pebble Tracker. But I bet you when I refresh this page, it's still at 127 backers. So it's really amazing to see 127 backers from all over the world. We see Italy, United States, San Francisco, Russia, India, Germany, Ecuador, Missouri, France, Switzerland, Canada, Peru. I mean, it's just amazing to see the global community that's all going to be kind of data mining together, right? Pebble Tracker is on sale on CrowdSupply for 6 more days until March 24th. You can really get your Pebble Tracker and join our real-world data mining community. Right now, it's $125. The early bird and the pioneer tiers were at $99 and $109. But really encourage everyone to get this before February or March 24th, so that you can get your Pebble Tracker Pioneer NFT that's exclusive for those that pre-order on CrowdSupply. But it's really amazing to see that progress. Thank you so much to everyone that's backed Pebble Tracker so far. And for those that haven't, I'm going to share exactly why you should right now. So going back to the presentation, as I mentioned, here's the Pebble Tracker NFT. Get it before March 24th to receive it. And we know there's a lot of questions in the community about when we're going to receive the Pebble Tracker NFT. The answer is when Pebble Tracker is shipped, we're going to provide an update via CrowdSupply to your email address where you can claim your Pebble Tracker NFT. But what is Pebble Tracker, right? We've gone through this several times. For those that are new, I'm going to give a really brief introduction, but I really want to focus not on the hardware itself. I want to focus on the use cases and the decentralized data collectives and what they mean for the future of IoTeX. It's not just the DApp, it's kind of an entire movement and revolution. But Pebble Tracker itself is a tamper-proof hardware device. We built it in partnership with Nordic Semiconductor, which is one of the larger fabless semiconductor companies in the world. Over the past year, it's gone through version 1 and version 2. But basically, Pebble Tracker is a multi-sensor, cellular-powered and blockchain-ready device that generates absolutely verifiable data. It has sensors for GPS location, climate, meaning temperature, humidity, air pressure, and air quality, motion, and light. And basically, it captures and cryptographically signs real-world data with a built-in secure element, just like the ones in your Ledger device that manage your private keys. We're bringing that level of security to this Pebble Tracker device in order to produce 100% verifiable data. Once you have verifiable data, meaning anyone can verify its legitimacy, then you can start to remove a lot of intermediaries from this end-to-end flow, right? So Pebble Tracker is the kind of the oracle, the real-world data oracle, if you will. It captures data, collects it, signs it, transmits it, processes it, visualizes it, and makes it available to the blockchain. This is really the first type of real-time, real-world data oracle in the entire industry. A lot of other projects are pulling data, historical data, from centralized databases. But what we're doing that's different is we are pulling real-time, real-world data from the real world and putting it onto the blockchain for different types of uses, right? I want to talk to you about all those different kinds of uses today. The more traditional thinking about Pebble Tracker is, because it's an asset tracking device, right? It has all the things you want to know about an asset's environment. You can have GPS, you can have temperature, humidity, motion, light, all these things can tell you very important things about a sensitive object, right? For example, COVID vaccines. In the traditional kind of asset tracking and remote monitoring space, there's a lot of opportunity here where you have vaccines or other sensitive materials must be shipped below freezing temperatures. What Pebble Tracker can do is give you a tamper-proof view, meaning tamper-proof, meaning no one can mess with it, no one can hack it, no one can tamper with it. It's just absolutely trusted based on the secure hardware that's built in. And that level of trust and truth is more important than ever, right? And we're starting to get to the point where it's kind of unclear who we trust, why we trust, and what we trust, right? So Pebble Tracker is establishing basically a new paradigm for absolutely trusted data. But that's not the only part, right? Once you have trusted data, the really exciting part that we're launching on IoTeX is all of these ecosystems, dApps, products that are going to be using this verifiable data to trigger smart contracts, to progress dApps, and basically make sense of all of this verifiable data without any intermediaries, right? And this, I just wanted to start with this because a lot of people consider Pebble Tracker to be a secure asset tracker and maybe like a workflow automation tool. It is, but it's also so much more, right? In this example, we explained that the verifiable temperature readings from a Pebble Tracker can inform a service level agreement about, if it's shipped under a certain temperature, you're going to get double pay through a smart contract. If it's average, you're going to get normal. And if it's breached, you're going to get losses of deposits, all without intermediaries, right? So for all the asset tracking and remote monitoring use cases, definitely very interesting. But Pebble Tracker is more than just an asset tracker, right? It can be used for these asset tracking use cases, but it can be used for so much more as well. Pebble Tracker, again, generates every 10 seconds GPS location, climate snapshot, motion snapshot, and a light snapshot. This verifiable data can be used to generate verifiable insights that can be used in a lot of different ways, right? This is kind of the problem statement around if we own our data, then what can we do with it, right? One option is we can use it where we can keep our data absolutely private to us, right? So everyone that's ordered a Pebble Tracker right now, maybe you're interested in these decentralized data mining farms, but you can also use Pebble Tracker just as a private and ultra secure asset tracker. Put it in your backpack, attach it to your car. If you have a motorcycle or a car or a bicycle, you can attach it as kind of a second line of defense against thefts. So there's, in addition to using it to trigger smart contracts and joining these data collectives, you can also just use it as an amazing personal asset tracker for all your needs, right? But that's kind of boring compared to what we're talking about. The other thing that we're talking about utilizing and analyzing your data It's all about how do we trigger different smart contracts using the data from a Pebble Tracker. Going back to this example, the temperature data is triggering a smart contract for payment. Other things you can do is if you have a smart contract that's more supply chain oriented, then you can use the GPS location of a Pebble Tracker to initiate a workflow, right? Unlike cell phones today, where the GPS signal is very, very easily spoofed, you cannot tamper with the GPS reading from a Pebble Tracker. So you have a source of truth, single version of truth that's fully trusted. And once you have that, that's the reason why you can trust it to trigger smart contracts, right? If you didn't have trusted data, then you couldn't trigger that contract the way you wanted to, because it would mess everything up downstream. So starting with the foundation of verifiability is ultra important. And that's the second thing you can do with your verifiable data. You can utilize it and analyze it using smart contracts. But the final piece that we really want to focus on is how are we going to monetize, trade, and utilize our data in different types of ways. And this all has to do with IoTeX platform components, including this IoT data oracle, token minter, and decentralized exchange. So, I want to start by sharing you guys a video that we just posted yesterday. I'm going to play it right now, which gives a nice overview of what exactly we mean by these kind of monetization opportunities for Pebble Tracker. So what exactly you saw there was the flow of real-world data to Pebble Tracker, the flow of data from Pebble Tracker to real-world data collectives, which are kind of on-chain dApps. And then finally, you saw the interaction between those data pools and the users of Pebble Tracker, right? It's basically a nice end-to-end flow where you can have Pebble Tracker kind of serving as a real world data oracle in order to feed data to these data collectives on your behalf, right? So we really consider Pebble Tracker to be a launch pad for decentralized IoT services, right? You can mint new digital assets based on this real world data. One exciting project that we have is called Pebble Go, and it's basically like a Pokemon Go style game where the verifiable GPS location from your Pebble Tracker can mint new NFTs that prove your presence. That's going to be a really interesting concept, and it's going to bring a brand new flavor of non-fungible tokens, NFTs, to the IoTeX ecosystem. And that's something that only can exist on IoTeX, whereas any project can kind of mint their own NFTs is very simple. Of course, you can do that on IoTeX as well, but really figuring out what the ancillary components are to make NFTs cooler and more impactful is really a big step for IoTeX. The other part is data as a service. We already mentioned this. This is kind of how you trigger smart contracts with Pebble Tracker. And finally, we have this concept of crowdsourced data sets. It's really about this concept of community-owned data sets and machine learning models. And those that contribute are going to get fractional ownership of those crowdsourced data sets. This is kind of what it looks like in a different type of view, right? So say that we have a data collective on IoTeX. These data collectives can be, going back to the example that we shared, it can be a machine learning model. It can be an air quality index. It could be a geospatial map. But those that provide their verifiable data to make these data collectives function and grow are going to receive fractional ownership of the value of this data collective. And I just want to pause here because there's an analogy that I think is very similar to this concept. And it's the concept that everyone uses today of liquidity mining, right? The concept of liquidity mining is I have an asset. In this case, they're tokens. I'm going to deposit these tokens together with other people in kind of a liquidity pool. And people that trade against that pool are going to pay fees that are shared by the liquidity providers, right? It's a very elegant kind of bottoms-up crowdsourced model that allows people to access a capability and delivers value to those that provide that capability, right? Without any intermediaries. If you think about what these data collectives or I think, we're going to change the name of these actually to data farms. It's really going to be about how do we bring together data from multiple users in order to create these kind of data farms or data pools that anytime someone accesses these pools, accesses the data that wants to use them, the value will be returned down to the shareholder. So, we always had this concept of what we call DeFi OT in the IoTeX network. And I think this is going to be really the first instantiation of that concept to make these data farms and data collectives on IoTeX possible. So I wanted to mention that anyone with a Pebble Tracker, we talked a lot about asset tracking use cases, remote monitoring use cases that are more targeted at developers, right? Pebble Tracker has open source firmware, open source backend that you can really customize your Pebble Tracker to fit your specific use case. But for non-developers, all the people in the IoTeX community, everyone watching right now, you can even buy a Pebble Tracker, plug it in, and start mining just like that. Simone just made a great video about the Pebble Tracker setup on our YouTube, so definitely check that out just to see how easy it is to set up, how easy it is to visualize your data immediately. And that really lends itself to non-developers being able to use it as a private asset tracker out of the box, as well as to join these data collectives out of the box. But it also has the flexibility to provide developers with the ability to create their own use cases as well. So everybody go check out Pebble Tracker. If you're interested in building on IoTeX with the Halo grant, reach out to us. We're issuing a lot of new grants these days, and we really want to share this experience about building Pebble Tracker with everyone. So I'm going to play that video one more time with this concept, with this context, and hopefully this concept of real world data mining is really going to start to click with people. All right, so as you saw, you can earn XRC20 tokens that represent your fractional ownership of these data collectives. And just like Uniswap started with very small liquidity pools, we anticipate the growth of these decentralized collectives to grow over time. So getting in early, the tokenomics are going to be designed in such a way that those that hold the tokens from being contributors will also be shareholders that can define the governance about how these collectives evolve over time. So it's a brand new concept, only available on IoTeX. And again, encourage everyone to go to Pebble Tracker or crowdsupply.com/IoTeX/pebble.tracker to get your Pebble Tracker today. So now we're going to move on to the final piece of our presentation here, which is all about what's next, right? This is a question that we get a lot. And I think that the IoTeX network is launching so many things, but it's all trending towards the same vision of creating this internet of trusted things, right? Every now and then we get to share some of the fruits of our labor. We do a lot of things behind the scenes. And I think, March is going to wrap up pretty interestingly, but April is going to be a month where we really announce some of the cool initiatives that we've been really driving behind the scenes. We started this with the China Mobile IoT Alliance, which we are now the executive chairs of, the only blockchain company to join that. But what's really exciting is all of the work that we're going to be continuing to do with our enterprise initiatives. As you know, we're the co-chairs of the Industrial Internet Consortium, and over the Q1 meeting, we've really been working a lot with enterprises to set up kind of the first consortiums of people that are going to be using IoTeX technology within these consortiums. And I can't share too much about that right now, but it's really about how do we bring IoTeX decentralized identity and IoTeX Pebble Tracker technology to the biggest tech corporations in the world through this kind of collaborative consortium. Another big thing that we wanted to mention is around the IEEE. Our role in the IEEE is going to be expanding. And that's all I can say for now, but stay tuned for some really interesting stuff related to standardization of IoTeX technology coming soon. And finally, the Confidential Computing Consortium. There's an interesting white paper that we've been contributing to, and that should be published very soon. So I know I'm not giving too many details here, but this is really something that I think everyone should be paying attention to. This is another thing that's very specific to IoTeX, right? I think our sophisticated kind of research and academic focus since day one has started to generate kind of output, right? We saw the impacts of the China Mobile IoT Alliance, all of the things we've been doing with them over the past 1.5 years even, finally announced to the community. And very, very similar things are going to be announced for the Industrial Internet Consortium and the IEEE, just to show you that not only are we participating in these groups, but we're really driving lasting change. So stay tuned for this over the next few weeks. Really excited to share this with you guys. Another thing that we wanted to mention is around upgraded tokenomics for BurnDrop. You guys asked for it, we heard you, and it's coming. So BurnDrop, as I mentioned, is the tokenomics design of the IoTeX network to make the IoTeX token deflationary, right? For every new device like UCAM and Pebble Tracker that's registered to the IoTeX network, we are going to have a certain amount burned and a certain amount dropped. And what we're really going to be doing starting phase 3, so the countdown is now on. Once we reach 3,000 devices, new tokenomics for BurnDrop are going to be activated. And what our goal is really to bring in some new metrics and also to adjust the ratio of burn and drop to make it more beneficial for long-term stakers, as well as to drive more incentives for the community to build these metrics, right? Right now, the only metric that's included in BurnDrop is devices, but what we really want to do is bring in more type of metrics that are very important to the IoTeX network as far as growth, and use BurnDrop to incentivize the community in kind of a virtuous cycle to build those metrics, to burn more tokens, to onboard more devices, and kind of repeat that process over time, right? So, tokenomics is, some people just think about it as, okay, let's burn all the tokens, right? But really well-designed tokenomics are setting up long-term incentives between different stakeholders in the network. And BurnDrop is a perfect example of this. It incentivizes not only community to adopt new devices, but also to evangelize others to adopt new devices, because it will lower the total supply and benefit existing token holders, right? So what we're going to be doing, really excited to announce upgraded tokenomics for BurnDrop starting phase 3. And just to give you an idea of what BurnDrop schedule looks like right now, BurnDrop has 10 phases, and a lot of these numbers are going to be adjusted and refined, and also added to make a program that we think is more suitable for the long term. So really excited to officially announce the upgraded tokenomics for BurnDrop coming starting phase 3. Another thing that's very exciting for us is, as I mentioned, UCAM has been placed on some of the biggest websites in the world over the past month. We saw it on New York Post, we saw it on the Chive, we saw it on Mashable, we saw it on so many other different websites, right? I actually just saw it was listed on a very popular Apple fanboy website today as, this is the coolest innovative camera out there. It's called iLounge if you guys want to check it out. So new channels are coming for UCAM. We're talking about publications, and publications I think are going to be rolling through for UCAM continuously. But we have a really new, exciting retail store that we're bringing UCAM to that we couldn't be more excited about. It really fits the brand of IoTeX well, and it's going to give hopefully more people the opportunity to get UCAM. We also want to make a call to the community. If you want to see UCAM maybe listed on a Kickstarter type website in your country, we really want to bring UCAM to more and more global users. It's already on 51 countries around the world. We want to bring it more to your country. I know you can kind of order a UCAM with international shipping, but it's not the same experience as having it available within your region. So if you guys are interested in becoming our kind of hunters for Kickstarter websites or things similar, things like that, definitely give us a shout. But this is another exciting announcement that we can't wait to share with you. New channels for UCAM coming soon. This is another thing that I think we've been introducing slightly, but this is something I wanted to explain. You know, NFTs are booming right now, right? We have plans to bring more and more NFT activities into IoTeX through partnerships with some of these NFT platforms. So talking to the entire landscape of NFT platforms right now. And, you know, up until now, NFTs in the IoTeX ecosystem have been about establishing your early participation in different types of initiatives, right? From the get-go, those that pre-ordered a UCAM before September 2020 got this UCAM Pioneer NFT. And I think there's less than 100 of these out there. So you can imagine the scarcity and how that will affect the ultimate value in the future. There's also a Burn Drop Ignite NFT. Anyone that joined the pre-launch of Burn Drop in around August of 2020 got this Burn Drop Ignite NFT. We also held the Pebble Tracker Ideathon in January, where we gave out the Ideathon winner and participation NFTs. And finally, the last NFT that's kind of the pioneer tier is around Pebble Tracker. So this is the newest NFT that anyone can get if they purchase a Pebble Tracker on Crowd Supply by March 24th. But I wanted to just take this time to really explain what NFTs mean to IoTeX, especially in our community, right? So in the future, all of these NFTs that you guys are collecting, we really want to gamify the system to basically use NFTs and those that have NFTs to reward early backers of our projects, right? So just as you guys have backed our projects early on, we want to return the favor and deliver value to you for being a pioneer in IoTeX products, right? So in the future, these NFTs can be cashed in for different permissions or prizes on the IoTeX network. And we also really want to be able to combine NFTs into something that can even increase your staking rewards ratio, or basically combine all the Pioneer NFTs into one super Pioneer NFT, just like kind of how CryptoKitties works, right? You combine two CryptoKitties to create another one. We really want to gamify that, and it's all about incentives, right? So those that have collected these NFTs by being an early backer of our products have two choices, right? They can either sell these NFTs to people that want them and basically earn value in that way, just direct peer-to-peer sales, or they can hold on to them and really cash them in for different permissions and value. Cashing in is not necessarily burning, but just if you have this NFT, then you get this permission, right? So it's a really great way to identify who the early backers are and reward them. So that's one side of things. It's all about IoTeX digital reputation. The other side of things is really about when we start to get into these Pebble Tracker use cases and even UCAM. We're having some crazy ideas and discussions with a lot of these NFT platforms about what if we could create NFTs of UCAM motion to clip videos, right? Or what if we can create an NFT based on the verifiable GPS location from Pebble Tracker? Say that you're a restaurant and you want people to go to your restaurant, but you don't want people to, scam your offers or your deals. You can offer an NFT based on the verifiable GPS location to make sure that you can deliver offers to those that are in your store, right? Other things are, eventually if you go to Coachella, for example, and you want to get the Coachella NFT, prove to us that you're there. And it's not just a concept, but it's a capability, this concept of using real world data to trigger the creation of an NFT rather than just minting random ones on IPFS and calling it a day, right? But that's kind of the future of NFTs for IoTeX. It's not just about what the NFT represents as far as art or as far as digital reputation, but it's about what data are we using to trigger these NFTs. And going back to that UCAM example, I think is really cool. You could kind of mint an NFT if you capture something interesting with your cameras in the future, directly from the source, right? For provenance and traceability and all that good stuff. And finally, we want to talk a little bit about Mimo. Mimo is growing every day, and the liquidity, I think, is growing very, very quickly now. But Mimo team, run by Capital Mu, a fintech organization out of Singapore, is really bringing DeFi to IoTeX, right? We talked a lot this past month about bringing IoTeX to other DeFi networks, but Mimo is bringing DeFi to IoTeX through a lot of new initiatives, including cross-chain swaps, which is called Mimo X. I think they're in the final stages of building out these direct cross-chain swaps between Ethereum and IoTeX, which is also going to be a first of its kind type of capability. Supporting Ethereum, Polkadot, and more, Mimo V2, algorithmic stablecoins coming to IoTeX, and finally, of course, the thing you guys have been all asking for is the governance token kind of retroactively airdrop to users, right? So really excited to see Mimo kind of expanding from there. And finally, I want to end on this note. IoTeX is always working on new partnerships and Halo grants, right? We've had, it's given I don't know what it is, whether it's a price increase or just the awareness increase, the inbounds of our mailboxes is just full, and it's ridiculous to the point where we can't even field all the requests sometimes. But we're really starting to chat with some really interesting corporations and different DApps that are working on similar things that they see, right? They see the scale out partnership and they're like, oh, wait, that really fits what I'm talking about, or it really fits what I'm trying to do. Or they see the concept of decentralized data collectives and say, I want to build something very similar to this. Or they see Pebble Tracker and say, I can use this type of verifiable data in my DApp to make it more expansive, right? So I can't give away any of these things, but more partnerships, more Halo grants coming your way, in addition to kind of these enterprise-focused initiatives through these consortiums. I think the combination of those two items is really going to make everyone really understand what the future of IoTeX is going to look like. And it's all about, IoTeX is the first blockchain out there to be connecting real-world data to the blockchain, right? A lot of people are claiming it, but tell me another project that's doing it, and I'll wait. But IoTeX is really the first one that's bringing verifiable, trusted data to the blockchain for use in DApps, just like Chainlink was the first one to bring verifiable and trusted price data to the DeFi ecosystem. And you saw what that did to Chainlink and also what that did to DeFi as a whole, right? So where IoTeX is headed, bringing real world devices that serve users, but more importantly, bringing the data from these trusted devices to IoTeX is really going to spark, I think, a renaissance of development and activity. So I couldn't be more excited about what the future holds for IoTeX. I think there's so many amazing initiatives going on. I just realized that, throughout this presentation, I wish I could have engaged with you guys more in the chat, but it's hard to present and read this at the same time. But I'm just going to go through some of these comments, and I'm going to answer some of your questions right now. Why not? I have some maybe 10, 15 minutes before a call. But any questions, drop them in the chat on YouTube, and I'm going to answer them right now. I think this is about Pebble Tracker. Mehdi Hassin, go and get it. You want one, go and get it. I think the other thing to note is that Pebble Tracker is $125 on Pebble Tracker on Crowd Supply right now. It started at 99. We sold out those 100 really fast, and then the next tier was 109, and then we just sold out that tier. So I think about 225 Pebble Trackers sold around the world right now. But the thing is, this 125 price is still pre-sale. Once it's after pre-sale, we're probably going to see that price increase a little bit because this hardware is very high quality. Secure elements are not cheap. But if you want it, go and get it. Do you have focus group for evolving the ecosystem, devs and exchanges? Jump into our Telegram. There's a lot of great discussions going on there. But I think One thing we're also working on is kind of more community voting protocols. That's the other thing around staking, right? A lot of people think about staking as just a way to earn passive income, but it's also a way to participate in governance, right? And that's another kind of thing to look forward to in the future. It's all about how do we bring those that are very involved and even give them more votes, right? So that's another benefit of these NFTs. In the future, they may be even giving you more voting power. Let's see here. What is the price? If you need a distributor in Canada, I'm here to help you out. Yeah, definitely hit me up on Telegram. You can find me. I'm one of the admins here. I'm staking on Binance now. Good stuff. Maybe you're a new community member, but hopefully you also bring that activity over to IoPay as well. Great mechanism. Burn drop is so unique. Yeah, not only is it unique, we didn't design it to be unique, but we designed it to be tailor fit for the IoTeX ecosystem. And I think just the fact that IoTeX is unique in itself, we're the only ones really doing devices for real. That's why the tokenomics are designed in such a way, right? It's all about creating incentives about what's important for your network. For something like Uniswap, the only thing that's really important is liquidity. For us, it's a number of things, but it's all rooted in those devices. Let's see. Do you ever plan to list IoTeX in the share market? And if you convert the tokens to share, I'm not sure what that means. I'm sorry. Wow, so many comments. My man from Twitter thinks has a nice estimate for us going forward. Let's see here. Another one from Manjit. Thank you so much. I think we've been working hard for the past 3 years, honestly, but it's really great to see some of this stuff pay off, and really glad to have everyone kind of on this journey with us. Drones, one of my favorite use cases, LAM. Drones are going to be one of the kind of decentralized autonomous machines of the future. And if they're registered to IoTeX, then you can even have fractional ownership of the revenues that they give. Imagine 4 people go in and purchase the drone together, and they share all the revenues of all the deliveries that drone is going to make. So going back to that example with Pebble Tracker about being a trusted machine, a mining machine, there's also going to be a lot of other things like that. Digitally, Anwar, recap what we did during this town hall today. We ran through a brief recaps on the AMAs, UCAMs, Pebble Trackers. We shared our brand new Pebble Tracker video. I also, I'm gonna share with you guys the link to the new Pebble Tracker video that Simone just posted, but it's going to be great. Yes, and speaking of Simone, the video will be available on YouTube very, very soon. I think it's actually up there. Internet of Coins. I dig it. Internet of Trusted Things, Internet of Coins, Coin Master, Master of Coins. So many different permutations we can do. Please don't do this. But if you do, definitely tag us on Twitter for it. Gucci Mane, I like it. Crypto Clown is stoked, and so are we. And yeah, I think that's mostly all we have so far. So really excited to have everyone join this amazing town hall today. As I mentioned, there's so much good activity coming up. We're going to announce some of the big things we've been working on with the IIC and IEEEs. Personally, what I'm most excited to see. But until then, stay tuned for our announcements, and we're going to see more and more activity coming to IoTeX soon. So with that, we're going to sign off for today. Thank you, everyone, for joining this town hall. And any questions, make sure to reach us on Telegram and also on Twitter. So thank you, guys. We'll talk soon.